You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. As always, I'm Nathan, joined by James. How you going, James? What something's made you happy in the last week or so?
Oh, geez, I don't think I have anything this week. Apparently, Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark is getting a 4K release.
Nice.
Which is awesome because that movie rules and it deserves and needs a little bit of a 4K remaster and
I borrowed
upgrade.
James's copy, didn't I? And
yeah, I've got the German Blu-ray.
Yeah, even the Blu-ray doesn't look particularly great.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best looking.
Yeah, and
it is so far.
It's not.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely needs a upgrade. It's a great movie.
Excellent. Also joined by Callum. Hang on, Callum. What's made you happy in the last week or so?
Much like James, it's Slim Pickens this week.
Oh, well, you've been playing some Final Fantasy. That's made you happy, surely.
Yeah, but that's low-hanging fruit. I'm
just trying to help.
Hey, anything.
I finished Lincoln Lawyer, and then my need for legal-based drama TV shows wasn't sated, so I started watching Goliath from the start, and I never finished Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. So I'm halfway through season 2, and
does it have a proper ending? Did it finish?
Nathan?
Goliath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cause,
let me tell you though, so I like Lincoln Lawyer, but it wasn't until I got back into Goliath that I realized that Lincoln Lawyer is like the family-friendly, accessible version of Goliath, where it's like Goliath does everything so much better. It has, Billy Bob. There is no human being on the planet that swears in the same way Billy Bob does.
He is good. That is a great show.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Goliath, go watch it. It's on
yeah,
Amazon.
you told me to watch it. I never got around to it.
It's only 4 seasons. There's like 8 episodes a season. It's like and they're really interesting legal thrillers.
I think the 3rd season is my favorite. I think that's kind of like inspired by Chinatown. That's really good.
But yes, I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's good.
As for me, what's made me happy is, 2 things, because, I come prepared.
Well, sorry that your life is better than ours.
I didn't say that. I just started to do my research.
Your depression doesn't hit as hard.
But you got to do your research to make it. Just put on the happy face.
You
when
dig
you're
harder.
at work, right?
Yeah, you dig harder to find the silver lining.
We're all suffering, but
yeah.
Some of us were customer service jobs. I'm used to putting on the front.
Yeah.
As for me, I guess Nicholas Winding Refn's Maniac Cop Alive Again makes me happy.
Oh, yeah. We talked last week about...
now being brought to life by Mubi and someone else.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for me. I like Maniac Cop and I like Nicholas Winding Refn, and I think the two make a lovely baby.
Yeah, well, that's been in the works for 10, 15 years. He's been talking about...
Yeah.
Like, at first he was just producing it, and then it was going to be like
now
a TV show. Now apparently he's directing it, so that'll be interesting.
So the fact that there's at least rumors of life again, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And also what makes me happy specifically recently is the actual proper director's cut of The X-Files I Want to Believe coming out in June. You heard about this?
I heard about it, but I thought it was just the extended version that's been out already.
No. So Chris Carter, when he originally made this film, it got cut twice.
Okay.
Once by the studio and then once by the censor.
Yeah.
Because it was too scary.
Yeah. They wanted to get a PG-13, so they had to cut some things.
Yeah, so I had to go through
Spoopy
2 rounds of cutting before we got to the theatrical edition. Now, there is an extended cut that's slightly extended.
Yeah, because that's the version I watch. It's just only slightly longer because it's got some scary bits put back in or something.
This version... he's got permission to go back to the balls to the wall, nasty horror,
straight up horror movie
movie that he originally made. Yeah,
I wonder if that would make it better because I didn't really like it that much.
Well, I'm interested now because it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm gonna not see.
This is the second movie. I want to believe.
Yeah, I want to believe. So I haven't seen this movie in a long time, so I'm not gonna rewatch it beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the straight up nasty cut that he wanted originally that got cut down twice. And Disney's like, you know what? Throw it on Disney Plus.
What's in the water with these streaming services? Suddenly you got Ken Russell's The Devils coming out. You got
that's not a streaming service.
But you know what I mean? Like the studios and the services are now kind of like, why not get it out there?
I loathe to applaud Disney.
I think they finally realized that people just want good, like the stuff that's restored and like the reason people are quote unquote going back to physical media is because streaming has become just trash.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting. The fact that we're getting the original vision of that film.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
We all need something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I guess with the Ryan Coogler reboot, it's the perfect time. So.
Yeah.
that's probably why it's come back up again.
Probably it's relevant.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to do it.
Cash in on it.
Chris Carter's probably like, hey, you know what? While the kind of the vibe is right, let's get this out too. So I guess we'll get straight into it. We have a Michaela Cole double special tonight.
Yeah, it was unintentional, but it worked out that way.
Like, and the movies have some weird connective tissue
yeah, they're
too.
Quite similar in a couple of few ways.
They're all about kind of like artistry and relationships.
Yeah,
and, You know, maybe
Legacy.
some breakdowns and yeah. So it's kind of like what's that meme on the internet? It was kind of like it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah,
like, that's how I feel about these movies.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with, I guess, the one that's not as good.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, which one do you want to start with?
We'll start off with Mother Mary.
Yeah.
So, which is, I'll have to get up my...
Suffice it to say, it wasn't a religious experience.
No. So I'll have to get up my notes because I didn't really care too much for this movie. So
I was really interested in this movie because
As was I. The trailer is pretty interesting.
The trailer's pretty interesting. It's written and directed by David Lowery, who
Green Knight
the
fame.
Green Knights, Ain't Them Body Saints, A Ghost Story.
Yeah,
like he makes
he's
really
got some
interesting
solid movies in his catalog.
Yeah, he makes really interesting sort of contemplative movies.
So was this one of those kind of like
misfire?
Misfire, but it's one of those moments I feel like it's like that scene in The Office where David Brent's taking all the pictures and then he's like quickly just takes a photo of the ugly lady in the office and he's like back to the art.
In the first episode, he has to take
the
photos of like job interviewees and he's like taking all the really interesting I think it's women, like attractive women.
Yeah.
And then there's like a less attractive one who's like there's a quick one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that like this movie?
No,
no.
It just didn't get that many creative juices out of it?
I think so. I actually have a theory about this film.
Okay.
I think this film had been floating around in his head for a long time.
Yeah.
So when I was watching the film, it felt to me like it was an idea he had floating around that wasn't really meant
fleshed out
to be seen or understood by other people. It was like a personal fantasy that he had floating around that he, for whatever reason, decided now was the time to get it on print, to speak.
I think similar to that, I read somewhere that originally it was a much smaller film, just in the one location, just with the two characters, just dialogue. And then when they hired like Anne Hathaway, and it kind of kept snowballing and got bigger, a bit bigger and bigger. And
that makes a lot of sense
because it definitely feels like a very small idea that could work maybe as a short film, and then it just kind of got bigger and bigger. And I don't know if it really earned the 2-hour runtime.
No.
That does make a lot of sense.
So like I feel like the version he needed at least 2 more script rewrites. But I think that he managed to get his vision on the screen.
So
I think that maybe his vision just wasn't there. Does that make sense?
It does. Let's rewind a second.
Yeah.
So the movie is about Mother Mary, played by Anne Hathaway, a big megastar who has like a fall from grace due to an
she's
incident.
a big pop star.
Yeah, she's a Lady Gaga-esque kind of figure, beloved by teenage girls around the world.
Yeah.
And has like some sort of a fall from grace or an incident in one of her shows.
Yeah.
It's not 100% clear exactly what happens, but it's not also important.
But this is sort of her comeback show.
And this is her comeback show. So she hits up Michaela Cole as Sam Anselm.
Sam, yeah.
And Sam's like a fashion designer, and she's like, I need to look on fleek, Sam.
Yeah, Sam used to design all the dresses for Mother Mary and her shows, but there was like some sort of falling out in their past. And now they've sort of separated, and now Mother Mary's come back to Sam, and she's like, for my comeback, I need you to create my dress. Like, I need you to...
I had a giggle because Hunter Schafer's also reasonably top billing in this movie, and they're in it for like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
really?
But
yeah, I didn't even know
Hilda.
She's at the start, but then
she's
I was like,
Hilda.
Oh yeah, I was like, and then she disappears, and then she comes back at the end for one sort of scene.
It's kind of like with Hunter Schafer. I'm like,
I didn't even
notice.
But I think
that's most of the extended cast.
Yeah, but exactly, it's like really, it's Michaela Cole and Anne Hathaway in the studio. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the place where they design the dresses.
A castle, and also like a
it's like an old cottage that's been converted. It's like the back of a castle that's like been converted into her workshop.
Yeah.
And they have this back and forth of like, their friendship has soured, and she's like, now you come crawling back when you need something, and
it's a whole movie examining their fractured relationship and how it relates to art and all that kind of
And I
fancy
think
schmancy stuff.
the best thing I think we can all say about it is it looked nice.
It did look
very
nice.
Even
It was well made.
even the dark scenes looked nice.
Yeah.
The acting was good. So
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where my opinion is the script was so bad
Yeah.
that it drags the whole movie down. Even though
Yeah.
everything else, if you were to remove the script and
Yeah.
just look at it as a piece of art in and of itself,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The acting's good, the lighting's good, the editing's good.
Mm. I like some of the score.
Yeah, but like
The pop songs are catchy enough, I guess. I'm not really into that kind of
but it was
generic
believable,
pop, but
right?
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
believable.
I feel like some of the music also takes away from the story, though. It's some of it I felt kind of like very sharp, very kind of like we're
Yeah.
talking. Now there's a song.
Yeah,
Now we're
yeah.
back to talking.
Yeah,
It
but that's
didn't-
also a structure of the screenplay,
Yeah.
which is a weakness.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the dialogue, especially
tried too hard to-
Cole's character. I just didn't like the way she talked. It felt like no one talks like that in real life. It turned up to 10.
But that doesn't
No,
matter because
no,
it's a
but-
movie.
yeah.
Like,
I know. Like movies are supposed to be exaggerated.
yeah.
But also like, Anne Hathaway doesn't give a
actually-
shit. Oh, pardon, Anne Hathaway doesn't care that she's speaking like that. What are you putting up the pretense? Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's their characters. It's like
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway's character is like a broken shell of a person, and she's very quiet.
And
Whereas
Michaela
Sam,
Cole wants to be Shakespeare. Damn
and
it.
now, yeah, and then, Sam is like holding all the power now, and she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"You betrayed me," and it's like this.
Yeah, but she talks
look-
like a douchebag.
The script.
That's
the
what I'm
script
saying.
no, the
Like,
script
again, the
does read.
screenplay.
yeah,
The
I
script
actually
may or may not read like it was written by an edgelord.
That's what I'm trying to say.
there is moments. There is definitely
Yes.
moments. But I personally, I liked the first half. I was like the idea of like the pop star sort of having a breakdown.
Oh
or
no,
whatever,
the concept is fine.
and then coming to the castle and then being like, "Hey, old friend, I know I abandoned you, and I became mega famous, but can you design my new dress?" And it's like this sort of cat and mouse is maybe not the right word, but they're
Yeah.
going back and forth. She's like, "I need you, but I hate you," and this, that, and the other. And she's like, "I'll design, but I get to do whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, this is interesting."
It is interesting, but it needed to go more perfect blue.
Yeah,
It needed to go more weird because they're billing it as
There
like a
is-
psychological drama.
yeah.
It's
The
trippy.
trailer also kind of makes it seem like it's gonna be like a horror thriller, but
Yeah.
it's like there's just a very light kind of
Maybe
supernatural element. Yeah, which again, it might even be in their heads.
I think it's more likely not
and
real.
Yeah, and by the end of it, I was like, this is really.
They
It's
didn't need
clearly
it.
And-
By the
yeah.
end, I was like, it's clearly metaphorical in
It's-
nature.
Yeah.
it's. I would say
It's too on the nose. It's very
Yeah.
like, get it? The pain creates
Yeah.
the art, and
Yeah.
but their friendship is and I was like, whatever.
I think the problem with it for me though is it was too in the middle, and it should have picked a lane. You either go full perfect blue psychological horror,
Yeah.
or lean more into that,
Or you go more supernatural,
like-
Suspiria, like
Suspiria,
weird.
or
Yeah.
you don't do that at all, and you just have it being a relationship drama.
Speaking of Suspiria, I like. There's a dance scene in this movie that I really liked. It reminded me the Suspiria remake,
Yeah.
which I don't like, but there's
Good
this really cool. Like Callum likes it, but there's this really cool like. One of the things I do like about the Suspiria remake is there's like this really weird dancing and how it ties into the witches and the magic.
Yeah,
And there's a scene like that in this movie which I really liked. And I was like,
that probably is the best scene in the movie.
yeah, I was like, they should have maybe done more with that. Because otherwise, this either just should have been a character drama with no like supernatural elements,
yeah.
or it should have been straight supernatural, or it should have been like a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
But I think
I would have preferred no supernatural elements.
Yeah.
And it just be
because for the first half,
character
like
drama.
yeah, for the first half, there's like no mention of anything supernatural.
like a Gorgodino or like someone like that.
Oh,
doing,
Luca, yeah,
like
Guadagnino, yeah.
I watched
like one of those people.
on a very quick tangent. I watched one of his early movies for the first time last night. I watched You Are Love or I Am Love.
What spurred that?
I don't know. I got Mubi.
Okay, because usually you're on Netflix.
Yeah,
what
no.
trash?
No,
what straight to streaming trash?
I'm trying to course
Okay,
correct.
good.
So I subscribed to Mubi. I got a good deal, but I'm not here to sponsor. We're not sponsored by Mubi.
We could be.
Yeah, I wish. And it was like on there, and I'm like, oh, Luca, I liked Queer. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
And then like it was a good time.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling bringing it back to Suspiria. Have you seen that movie?
Which one?
I Am Love.
No.
It's interesting and it's really good. And Tilda Swinton is amazing in it. She learnt Italian and Russian for that movie.
She's next level.
But it's almost it's somewhat disconcerting in a way because it's almost filmed like it's meant to be a giallo. So it's kind of like
interesting,
haunting angles, and like you're watching these characters through, like you're outside, like you shouldn't be watching them.
But it's not. It's just a character drama. Is that what you're saying?
It's like a romantic drama movie, but it's like the way he's filmed it. I'm like, I'm expecting a knife.
Like a voyeur.
Yeah, there's like a voyeuristic element. I'm expecting a 70s like Italian black glove to kind of pop out and like stab someone.
Now I want to see like David Lynch's When Harry Met Sally, you know, like
oh damn, copyright the Tuesday review. Let's make it happen.
Like, it's really everything's really weird, but nothing happens. It's just like a lovely.
It's like a little nice movie.
It's really a wholesome romance movie, but everything is just
copyright the Tuesday review. Really weird When Harry Met Sally. You think something nefarious is happening, but it's really just sweet and just awkward. Back to the movie. Back to Mother Mary.
Yeah, I think that. The two favorite parts I had were the very first part where she comes back to the house, and like I like that sequence.
Yeah.
Again, not a fan of the dialogue, but like that actual sequence I thought was quite strong. And I do like the performance stuff because it's kind of cinematic looking.
Yeah.
And also Anne Hathaway looks great up on the stage.
Oh yeah, and the costume costume design is great.
Yes.
Like the dresses and the headgear and like the whole pop star Lady Gaga.
So I would have much preferred a drama of her trying to get the costume designer to the theater, and then having a thing using the theater as the stage itself of the screenplay could have been a great idea.
Yeah, I think also a problem with the movie is that once some supernatural elements are introduced, you're like, okay, but then as it goes on, you're like, oh yeah, they don't know. He doesn't like they don't really know what they're doing with this, and then it ends, and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of didn't go anywhere, and it didn't need to be 2 hours long. And it's one of those cases which we've talked a lot about before. Is there's like movies and shows where they have like an interesting sort of detective story or love story or adventure or something, and then there's also a supernatural or a sci-fi or a horror aspect. And sometimes like we talk about, I can't think of a specific example, but it's like, oh, just the normal sci-fi adventure romance whatever is fine,
good enough, yeah.
And you've tried to add this other element, and it hasn't mixed in well enough.
Yeah, you tried to add too many spices for the.
Mother Mary is a good example of like you didn't really need any of that supernatural garbage. You can have symbolism and stuff in there, but it's like you didn't really need any of that other stuff. You just could have had a really good character drama.
I would have done a lot more with the Michaela Cole's character. Will sometimes have these little visions of Mother Mary in a specific dress, whatever.
Yeah.
I would have done a lot more with that. I would have done a lot more visualization of maybe the previous dresses.
You only
the
see
meanings
those
behind
once.
those.
Yeah.
Like there's so much they could have done with that character because
Actually,
she's supposed to be.
My favorite dress in the entire movie was the one where she's meant to be like Joan of Arc, and she's
that
got the
was
arm.
sick.
Yeah, she's got like the.
Yeah,
that
well, that
arm
was like
plate.
But like for such a big character, you had a lot of room to go through the history of the dresses, the songs.
Yeah. But I
fame.
think this stems back to the problem we were talking about at the beginning, where you can tell it started off as a much smaller film. Where
Scope
it's like
creep
maybe they didn't even have the budget to like do all the dresses and all the concert scenes, so they're just like, oh, we're gonna just do it. But then it kind of kept creeping and getting bigger and bigger until you get this weird in between movie where it's like mostly takes place in one place, is mostly just a two-hander with the two characters, but then there are like cuts to concert scene, or cuts to supernatural weird ghost stuff, and you're kind of like, this doesn't really all mesh together. So
wink wink.
mesh, so
Nah.
I'm glad I waited for VOD.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to see this on the big screen.
Oh, it would have looked nice.
But
we would have been like,
but it still would. It would have sucked to be like, oh, that was just. But I was watching it and I was like, this would have been good to see on the big screen, even though it's not really technically a good movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you still want to see, if you see a bad movie, you still want to see it in the best way possible.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if the strengths are.
If that's the case, we should have seen this at IMAX.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's not that bad.
Extended concert sequences for the IMAX screenings.
That actually we would see. Maybe they should have just gone really hard into the concert and like been like, because they're all these.
Like people have concert movies. Like
I mean, Trap did that quite well.
Yeah, but see, that movie was like
I'm not saying it was a better movie.
Yeah,
but
that was like
they,
more plot heavy. So
Maybe,
Trap is actually better.
Maybe
But
Mother Mary should have been like halfway between an actual concert movie and a character drama.
that's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
that's kind of also what it was kind of billed as, to an extent.
Well,
They did hype up the
guess so.
performances
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
bit, and the original music was hyped up.
But yeah, like I said in the trailer, you see like the horror, supernatural. You see the concerts, and you think it's gonna be different. But yeah, it's really just them in the room, and she's like, "I'm gonna design your dress. I'm not gonna design your dress. I hate you. I love you." And it's like, okay, but for 2 hours.
I think if you want a talky psychological drama instead, people should go watch My Dinner with Andre.
Well, that's like the epitome of like
the creme de la
just
creme.
two guys talking. I mean, that was all improvised, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And,
so that's
and if you're in the
different.
right frame of mind, that will absolutely damage your psyche.
Well,
Or heal it.
yeah, it could.
Or
I was
heal
gonna
it.
say
Yeah.
could go either way depending on where you are in your life and
Yeah.
how you how you view certain things.
But anyway.
But yeah, if you want a movie like this that's better, Neon Demon. Speaking of Nicholas Winding Refn, but that's again more of like a weirdo.
Or Perfect Blue to an extent.
Yeah,
Depends
guess
on the
so.
themes of
Well,
it
yeah,
depends on what kind. If you want
Popstar.
like that kind of psychological horror theme. then
yeah.
Something like Perfect Blue.
Oh, well, that's a
Yeah,
masterpiece.
they should have done
but-
more. Like we saw how much Michaela Cole's character suffered from the lack of agency in their relationship.
Yeah,
I feel like they should, but we didn't see enough of Anne Hathaway's, the cost that took on Anne Hathaway's character, being being in the spotlight and all that. It
Yeah,
felt
it's
very
very-
one-sided.
yeah.
I feel
and
like that we see the negative consequences of their relationship from one side, and I feel like maybe there should have been a bit more of
Yeah.
it. Like it should have been a 50-50 split.
And Anne Hathaway has all this psychological and physical trauma, but it's like
Surface level.
Yeah, it's like very like, oh, okay.
Oh, you're famous. Oh, you're a big
You're
star.
famous and you saw a ghost and you fell. And it's like,
Oh.
huh? What? Like,
Meanwhile,
it's actually a metaphor
Lady
for fame.
Gaga's
and,
out there doing
and it's
spirit
like the
dinners or
pain that
whatever.
goes into art. Yeah.
You've seen those pictures, right?
Which one?
Like Lady Gaga's out there doing spirit dinners and stuff. And do you know what they are?
No.
I'm not going to say the celebrity's name. There's like some famous, like, for lack of a better word, witch lady associated with, like, voodoo and whatnot, who does like these really creepy spirit dinners, and all the celebrities will come down there and pretend to eat human flesh and all this stuff.
Oh.
And I'm like, so Anne Hathaway's like, oh, I saw a ghost, but meanwhile the actual AAA celebrities are out there like hooking up with
Cosplaying.
these weird people who do weird things in
Yeah,
LA.
Well,
role
reality
play.
is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the movie's not really about like
Yeah.
her character's not about the excesses of like, oh, she's a weirdo
yeah.
rich person. But yeah, the sort of hardships of her life is very like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it, and this is this supernatural thing is a metaphor for their pain and friendship and how you create art. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get it, and check your watch. You're like, all right.
Last criticism, I also thought the use of the Ouija board or whatever was super cliche.
You always say that though.
Yeah, but it's like the year 2026. Why do they have a Ouija board? Why didn't they
I
just...
guess-
Why
with
don't
her
they
money-
ask ChatGPT?
No.
Can I talk to the ghost, please?
With her money, they could have had like some psychic person to come down and do a séance. Do you know what I mean? And then you
I
could have
guess-
had a more of a natural. I mean, they did have the psychic person at the Ouija board, but you didn't. If you already had the psychic, you don't need the Ouija board.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was just supposed to be
Whoever
like
wrote
this...
the script isn't 100% super down into the occult business, and that's
Come on,
fine.
man, do your research.
Yeah, do your research.
No, I
Yeah,
don't,
that's
I
a
don't
joke.
think...
Then you
yeah.
open a portal at CERN and it shows.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Go hard or go home.
Shout out to Ari Aster though for using legitimate demonology in Hereditary and making all the people on the occult subreddit mad. Did you know about that?
No.
He used legitimate symbols from like the Book of Solomon or whatever.
Yeah.
So the demon that they summon, I can't remember the name. It's like the actual.
I was like Paimon or
Yeah,
something.
it's like there's like the actual symbolism of his stuff in the film.
Yeah.
And on the subreddit, people got really mad about it because like that's irresponsible. And I'm like, you know what? Based.
Trust Ari Aster to be like, yeah, I'm gonna try to actually summon demons.
Yeah, based. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll move on unless anyone
Yeah.
else has any final thoughts.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. We'll go to a very quick break and we'll be back with more right after these quick messages. You are back on the Tuesday Review live on 98.9 Northwest FM. Onto another kind of similar movie now, but a very different film. Both starring Michaela Cole.
Mm-hmm.
This one is The Christophers by one of our favorites, Steven Soderbergh.
Mm-hmm.
The man who is a master of making something. He just like random bullshit go, the director.
Yeah.
He just makes whatever comes to mind.
He's just
pretty much knocks one out a year.
Yeah,
And if
well,
not
last
more,
year he had
Black Bag and Presents.
Yeah, Presents, and then this one I think also premiered at the end of last year on Film Festival.
So the man's on a roll.
Yeah, and he's probably got another one coming out that's already completed, but I can't remember.
Every movie is different.
Yeah,
and he never.
interesting,
He's not
yeah.
with Tarantino.
he's like, genre, what's that?
Yeah, with Tarantino you have an idea, right? It's going to be frenetic, quick, witty.
Yeah, the
with
dialogue,
Nolan,
yeah.
he's going to use an IMAX camera. It's going to be big. But
Yeah.
with Steven Soderbergh, I don't know. No one
Could
has
be
a clue.
anything.
Could be anything. And
Horror
that's part
movie, action movie,
but that's part
whatever.
of the fun.
He's
Yeah.
so versatile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like
All of
I
his
like making
movies may bomb and crash, but
Yeah,
but they're all pretty
low.
good.
They're
yeah.
low budget enough that he's just like, let's make another one.
Yeah, and they're most of the time they're not bad.
pretty good. Yeah.
And so this movie, much like in some ways the previous film, is about a tortured artist, and
It's also a kind of two-hander with
Michaela Cole plays opposite a tortured artist,
Mm.
like in the previous film, and it's a relationship drama basically.
sort of, yeah.
Kind of.
It's about Ian McKellen plays a well-known painter, Julian Sklar.
Yes, and he's a bit of a shit poster.
He's got as he's gotten older, he's basically stopped painting, and even though he's still famous and his art still sells,
But he got
for
cancelled.
millions.
But he went out. But he'll say he went on his terms.
Yeah, he's basically just full of himself. He's a bit of an asshole. He's still famous, and his paintings still sell for millions of dollars. So he's still sort of up himself, and he's like, "Haha, I'm an artiste," but he doesn't really do anything anymore.
Yeah.
And Michaela Cole's character, what was the character's name?
Laurie Butler.
Lowery, yeah. She gets hired by Julian's children who want to inherit like his artwork and sell it for millions of dollars.
Barnaby and Sally, played by James Corden and Jessica Gunning.
Yeah. And they hire Lowery who's a painter herself, but really doesn't like exhibit anywhere. She's kind of reserved about and unsure about her art. But she's really good at forging. So they hire her to become Julian's assistant and finish a series of paintings he started called The Christophers, which he never finished and are just like rotting in his in his attic. And the plan is to like infiltrate his trust, and while he's not paying attention, like finish the paintings, and then when he passes away, because he's getting older now, it's like oh, they'll be worth
millions.
You know, could you imagine the finished Christophers are found in his in his attic after he passes away?
Because he previously had sold 2 sets of these paintings called the Christophers, based on The Lover.
Yeah.
And the third set is notoriously unfinished, famously not released. Right?
Yeah, for like 25, 30 years, just sitting there unfinished.
So even though he may not be as famous as he once was, these paintings were, I guess, conceived of when he was the biggest.
Yeah.
So they will be worth something.
Yeah.
After he passes away.
And you think it's good, like, you hear the premise, you watch a trailer, and you think it's going to be sort of a heist-ish movie
cat and mouse.
with the the forgery element, and then maybe replacing the originals, and that kind of has some of that.
But it's not really about that.
Yeah, what I really liked about it is that's more about the relationship between Laurie and Julian, and he's this grumpy old artist who kind of hates everything and hates everyone, and who's really up himself. And she used to really admire him and his art, but is now kind of like, screw this guy. And so she kind of wants revenge on him, but also she does admire him, and he was a huge inspiration to her as an artist. And so it becomes this back and forth,
almost like a will they won't they, with the kind of the painting element of it.
Yeah.
You never know which way
It's
the
like,
story's going to go.
Yeah, and it's also like, is she going to do it and betray his trust, and is his trust deserved because he's such a huge asshole, but he's also like a frail old man who like doesn't really do, and he's lost his passion for art. He doesn't paint anymore. And then it's kind of like, maybe he can get that back by working with Laurie.
Will she reignite his passions?
Yeah, exactly. And then will he inspire her to become more, extroverted as an artist and sort of display her work again. And yeah, so it becomes this kind of, again, cat and mouse isn't really the right word, but like
adjacent to that. Yeah,
like Mother Mary, it's like takes place mostly in Julian's like flat, and it's got like back and forth and like you know, are you going to paint again? No, shut up. Are you going to betray me? Da, da, da.
And this is the kind of film that Steven Soderbergh does really well too. The kind of more restrained story, more focused, obviously cheap. Like it's it doesn't need $1 million bucks.
Cheap of it, but not doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, I don't mean cheap. In the negative
lower
sense.
budget. Yeah, lower budget.
A lower budget film.
Yeah.
That's singularly focused on kind of one issue.
And unlike Mother Mary, like this works really well with its limited location and just dialogue, basically.
No shade to the director of Mother Mary, but it's like scope creep's not an issue for Steven. He's probably got enough street cred that he's kind of just like, I'm going to make the movie. Well,
I think, but it's also the script is stronger.
Yeah, the script is stronger.
Interesting that you say that because they didn't really have a script for this one. They kind of...
I did hear that some of the conversations were improvised.
Quite a lot of it. So they had an idea of who the characters were and where the story was going.
Okay.
But Steven Soderbergh left the interpretation, a lot of the interpretation up to the two leads.
Steven Soderbergh shows up. He's like, let's film this in a week. Just have a chat. It's like Ian McKellen's in a really bad mood this day. Let's shoot.
Yeah.
It's more shows you how strong Soderbergh is as a director, where he can explain the general story beats.
It's
and
also...
then say, how do you guys think your characters will
I want this to happen in this scene. Go nuts.
Yeah, it's also because Ian McKellen is Ian McKellen and Michaela Cole is also very good. And so when you get to actors who probably know their characters and they have a good director who's like, okay, here's where you have to sort of end up. Here's the goal of the scene.
How would you like to approach it?
Yeah.
And then they kind of just go, almost like wrestling.
They called it. He's not. No, Calum's not wrong. Actually, it's very much like wrestling in a way.
They called it on the fly.
Yeah, that's it. Improvised theater is very much like wrestling. That's what wrestling is, damn it.
It's art house cinema.
They're sparring with words. Not
WWE and art house cinema. It's like it's pretty much the same thing.
But so that's what I think is really great about this film is it wasn't just that the story was great. I won't say the script was great because I don't know to what extent the script was used.
Well, I have a bit of trivia, but I want you to finish.
The story was good in that it let the characters express themselves and they had fun and their enthusiasm for the world that Soderbergh was making comes through on the screen. So like there's one of my favorite scenes of the film is when Julian is painting and then he gets a sense of freedom and joy that he hasn't felt for painting in years. And then Ian McKellen expresses that joy so well. It's almost like a childlike return to that, I can do whatever I want. I'm being silly with it. And then he gets really happy. Yeah. And then he kind of has to pull back because he's like, wait. There's that guilt, I guess maybe he feels. It's like, I can't go on this way.
Yeah.
And it works so well.
Yeah, it's really good, like small, concentrated character study, basically, of these two people at different points in their life and career that are sort of at odds with each other. And then it's like, they're kind of, there's a question of like whether they'll end up betraying each other or whether they'll end up sort of helping each other to heal. And I think everything about it is just like well crafted and everything serves the story and the characters and it was just like pleasant to watch and it looked nice and it sounded nice and the acting was good. So I think that this like succeeded where I guess Mother Mary failed, even though they are different movies, but there are similarities with these two characters coming together. It's like, are you going to betray me? Oh, you betrayed me before. Oh, you don't do art like you used to. It's like, so it's quite interesting how the similarities and the unintentional double feature. Michaela Cole.
You had trivia?
Oh yes, Ed Solomon, who wrote The Christophers, is one of the credited writers on the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993.
Oh.
Again,
based. A strong movie,
Yeah, he is he's a genius. I think he also wrote the screenplay for the original Men in Black, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Among a whole bunch of others. Bill and Ted, I think he did the original Bill and Ted.
He is a gangster.
Yeah.
Straight fire.
Amongst other probably
Righteous.
less good stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why I was like, oh, the script's pretty good. But it's interesting when you go back through the IMDb of certain writers, directors, actors, and you're like, oh, what have they done before? And it's like sometimes
out of left field.
kind of completely. Yeah.
I didn't hate James Corden either in this film.
Yeah.
And normally James Corden is like he annoys me.
Yeah, it's like a eye rolling, like, oh, here we go. But no,
he wasn't. It was like he delivered his performance.
Yeah.
He didn't put like.
Yeah, and it's like suits
overblow
the
it.
character. Like
Yeah,
he's.
so.
And it's like, it's also fun. It's a funny. It's not a comedy, I wouldn't say, but it's funny. Like has funny moments.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian McKellen's funny in it.
Yeah.
Like, he has moments.
Yeah, he's good. It's also kind of like a stage play, like because it
Very
takes
much.
takes place mostly in the one place.
I could see this being adapted from like a theatre production.
Yeah, it kind of
into a
feels
movie.
like
Yeah,
that.
feels like it,
Especially
yeah.
with Ian McKellen, like he does these long monologues. Yeah, so it definitely feels.
Even the extra sets that aren't like in the kind of the house, they're kind of simple, and you could easily just replicate that.
Yeah, and it's like, you could just be like, okay, now we're in the coffee shop. It's like you got a couple scenes there.
Yeah.
And then, back to the. Yeah, so really good movie. I mean, we kind of had less to say about it than Mother Mary, I guess.
Less negative.
Because it was, because it was better. Like sometimes when a movie is good, it's like, I don't know what else to say. Like it looked nice, sounded nice.
Look, we like Steven Soderbergh. He didn't let us down.
Yeah, I mean, he's also like, because he's got so many movies and he's so prolific that, sometimes you're going to get some bad ones. But mostly.
Especially in recent years, I feel like he made Magic Mike's Last Dance, obviously a classic.
People like those movies. I've never seen them.
I've never seen it.
But people swear by them. So,
but in the last couple of years, he's done Presents, Black Bag, The Christophers. Like that's a pretty good run.
That's just the last couple of years.
That's the last couple of years.
Like Logan Lucky, I remember being okay. That was that was like almost 10 years.
I mean, he pumps them out, but I guess Contagion we liked. The Informant. Magic Mike. Side Effects was good.
No, it wasn't.
I went to the cinemas by myself to see that. It was alright.
It was not good. That's a bad one. Oceans.
The only thing I didn't particularly like about this movie, and that's maybe one of his signature styles, is I didn't like the kind of fisheye lens he uses a little bit. Like it warps a little bit on the edges sometimes, or a bit of flare.
Didn't really
pick it
bother
up.
me.
No, maybe just watching on the big telly.
I don't know.
But other than that, I liked the look of it. It was nice and clean, digital. It was colourful.
Yeah, the colours were good.
Yeah, but, I have not much else to say.
Yeah. No.
Anyone else have anything?
Well, I don't know. Should we talk about the other movies that we kind of had, or should we move on to something?
We could do a quick bit on Faces of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, all right. James can start us off. Faces of Death.
You watched the original, so start with that first.
Yeah. So Faces of Death was a 1978 cult horror movie that is basically the definition of like cult horror movie. It's one of those movies that came out at a time when
the video nasty craze.
Yeah, and sort of like gore and sort of nasty stuff in horror movies was still shocking, and people were still like throwing up in cinemas and stuff. Now it seems quaint, but
back in the day when Cannibal Holocaust came out, and the director had the actors hired, and then he got actually arrested because they thought it was real.
And Faces of Death.
How people were naive.
Yeah, Faces of Death was one of these legendary cult horror movies where it was like, it's basically a documentary of like a series of clips of like deaths, accidents, suicides, and animal slaughter, like just all this stuff to do with death. And, the whole thing with it, the legend of it was like, oh my God, was it real? Like you see people being killed and stuff. And it's like,
didn't it turn out to be mostly just really well done practical effects?
Yeah.
But years later, they kind of just like, all right, everybody calm down.
Yeah. So most of the, like more than 50% is like newsreel footage and like actual documentary footage of like animals being killed and stuff. So it is
all the new footage.
Yeah. But all the like new footage of people being killed and stuff was actually like, prosthetic makeups and fake. And looking back on it now, it's like, it's quite pretty quaint.
Yeah, but back in the day, people didn't know
back
any
then,
better.
it was like, oh my god, is it real?
Because it would
And
have
it
been
was
cutting edge of practical.
yeah, and
you know.
it was one of those movies that, you know, it was like, oh, it's banned in 50 countries or something. You know, it was one of those legendary, like, people would share it on VHS and be like, oh, did you hear this is a real, like, snuff film and stuff. And so it gained this cult following. I'd always heard about it. They made like 4 sequels or 5 sequels.
I know
something.
the first time I ever saw, I haven't seen the film, but I saw it at our local Blockbuster on VHS, and I was like, oh, that's scary. Put it back.
Yeah, yeah. It was like this forbidden, taboo kind of, even amongst horror movies, it was like the special one that's like, oh, was this real or whatever. Yeah, so I'd always heard about it. You hear it coming up. But I'd never seen it because I was like, yeah, I like gore. I don't really like gore. Like, I love gore, but I don't like torture porn movies.
Yeah.
And also, you know, like,
I feel like because at that point it's kind of like if you're showcasing practical element, like kind of like a prosthetic, that's different. If you're just showcasing footage of real death, I'm like, who's this aimed at?
That's the other thing is like there is like newsreel footage and stuff, and I was like, you know, I don't
like who is this exciting?
Yeah,
like I'm sure Ted Bundy likes this movie, but like
but it is
giving him ideas.
It's part of that like cult, like, oh, you know, it's so crazy. It's like, you know,
I'm not an old man, but why? It's kind of like what's the if it's literally like
especially if there's no like story or
they're advertising this movie like it's all real. Obviously it's not.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of just like, well, why would I want to watch that necessarily? What value am I getting from just watching a collection of newsreel clips of death?
Having watched it recently for the first time, I did feel that way. I was like, yeah, this is interesting, I guess. And at the time I can see like this would have been a big deal. And if I had seen this when I was like a teenager, maybe I would have been like, ooh. But now I was kind of like, okay. Like, it's just a series of...
I think that when it was made, it was probably made to make money. As in, it's like, we're going to make a...
It was made to go viral.
That's right.
Yeah,
they made a product...
It's basically viral before viral was a thing, before internet.
To have a mythological product.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that you would have gone to see this at a
grindhouse.
A shady
midnight. It's a good midnight movie.
Yeah. You know, they would have made a bit of a buck. Because I'm pretty sure it made a lot of money over the years.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, they made like 5 sequels. Like, they were just like,
but the original made like $30 million at box office numbers. So it's like that's probably why they did it. It's like the word of mouth kind of scary thing.
Exactly.
You think you're tough? Let's go watch Faces of Death.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you know, my cousin got a VHS, bootleg VHS. It's like, oh, are you man enough to watch it kind of thing. Yeah, so it has this reputation. But watching it now, especially, you know, after being, you know, desensitized to horror movies in general, it is quite quaint. And it is basically just like, you know, series of clips, and you can tell which ones are sort of real and which ones are fake now. Some of them, you know, some of them are quite convincing, but it's like, yeah, that's definitely not.
I've seen a man get his head chopped off. That is not what that looks like.
Well, we grew up in the
live leak
the live leak era of like, the Al Qaeda.
Fallon was here; he'd have opinions.
He still watches that stuff. That's his main feed. Considering he's an AI that's trained on all that stuff, he just has it in his
that's it. He's training
memory bank. Yeah. But yeah, so it was like, yeah, this is quaint or whatever. Yeah, so recently they made a sort of reboot. A
reboot, cool.
Yeah.
In a way.
So they did it's still called Faces of Death, but it's instead of like trying to redo the mockumentary kind of like his scenarios of real deaths and whatever, instead of trying to do that, it's more like a narrative-driven film about a young woman who works at a TikTok-like company called Kino, the Kino app, which is basically like a fictional TikTok, and she works like reviewing like if certain videos don't meet the criteria, the guidelines,
she like approves or declines.
So
like reels
when people
TikToks.
upload videos to their TikTok or Kino, they she reviews them, and if they
allowed or not allowed.
Exactly.
And the reasons why, if not.
And she comes across these like snuff films, which everyone's like, yeah, those are fine, those are clearly fake. But she gets more like into she falls down the rabbit hole, and she's like, I think these are real snuff films, we shouldn't be allowing them. And she starts investigating it. And then meanwhile...
there's always audio of the original Faces of Death on these clips.
And
which leads her to a rabbit hole investigating the original tapes.
And then she goes down like, oh, this is actually... These killings are based on the original Faces of Death. And so the Faces of Death movie in real life is sort of the basis for the serial killer in this movie.
Like a copycat.
Yeah,
kind of
he
deal.
uses that as a basis for his real murders, which he then uploads online to get viral and to become famous.
He wants to be famous.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting.
I think the acting's good in this. I liked Barbie Ferreira as Margot.
Yeah,
and
she's good.
And I really liked Darcy
Decray.
Decray, whatever his
Yeah,
name
Decray
is.
Montgomery. Who
as Arthur Spivak.
Yeah, he was in Stranger Things.
Yes,
He was like Billy. Yeah, and so he became. He's actually really good in this movie as the killer, because the movie, it's it's not like some other horror movies where it's following Margot and there's like a mysterious killer. It's like following Margot half the time, and then half the time it's following the serial killer.
Yeah.
So it's like a back and forth kind of thing, which is kind of cool because you get to see
what I like about this film, and it was my first reaction to James after I had seen it, was that it reminded me of the kind of horror films we would get in the 2000 to 2009 block.
Yeah.
Not literally, but it had that essence of here's a serial killer movie, and it's more about not the chase necessarily, but it's not about the gore, ironically. It's not about the violence. It's about the hunt. And it brought me back to those serial killer movies that we used to get when we were in high school.
Yeah, it definitely feels more of that era in a good way.
Yes.
Because, there are some movies where you're like, oh, this feels like a 2005 horror movie in a bad way. Yeah. And there are other movies where I was like, this feels like a 2005 horror movie in a good way.
Because it has a little bit of all the stuff we like. It has a little bit of that detective work. It has a bit of world building. It has a bit of the horror lore stuff. Like, that the roommate talking about horror movies and watching horror movies and stuff. That's fun. Yeah. But then it has the serial killer stuff, which looks great. The practical stuff they did really well.
Yeah. Callum just dropped his phone.
Excuse that loud noise.
Callum just dropped his phone.
I did. But there's a really great scene where the police, after a commotion, the police come to the serial killer's door. And then there's a really tense moment where you're like, are they going to find out? Are they going to see something? And then you're on the edge of your seat. Yeah. And again, it's not something you see too much these days because like horror movies now are bigger and, bolder. This is kind of a restrained scene. It's in a weird way. This movie's really restrained.
Well, there's no supernatural element, which we talk a lot about. Of how like even though we like a lot of supernatural horror movies, it's like sometimes we just want a crazy
Sometimes
guy.
you just want a killer chasing you through the woods.
Yeah.
I think I said that in one of our reviews once. Sometimes you just want to see a guy who wants to kill people.
I think we talked about it once a long time ago. I think we just like want a crazy guy with a knife. Like that's it.
Because it's what we can relate to.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid of a crazy guy with a knife, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a ghost in a room,
yeah, because you're like, monsters don't exist, but in real life,
that's it. Sometimes there is a crazy guy with a knife.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do about it?
It's also really fun to see him come up with the contraptions to kill people.
And
you get to see, I know it's perverse, but you get to see him do it, and you get to see like that stuff play out, and how it's all rigged together.
Yeah,
that's
like
fun.
He creates these like Rube Goldberg, contraptions to kill people, which is interesting. I think it's also like it's not a remake. It's not, I guess, kind of like a reboot, cool sequel kind of thing.
I mean, it's a reboot as far as it's just like a movie that
it's a movie inspired by and about Faces of Death.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like it's almost a reboot or an homage, as almost like Nirvana has Back to the Future as a part of its story. It is as like
it's more direct.
But it's the same level of involvement. Almost.
But it's like because when they make. There are so many remakes in general, but horror movie remakes. And, like we just discussed, the original Faces of Death is a legendary kind of taboo cult movie. And so to make a new version, it's like setting it up to fail. So if they were to do like a documentary, a snuff film, is this real? It would have been really.
Also, it would probably just get banned today as well. Like that.
Well, it depends.
That kind of movie. If you're selling it as like this is just a collection of people getting murdered or killed on television.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, I guess they could have done that. Of like, it's actually it's just a series of snuff films on the internet, and they could have done like a found footage, screen life kind of thing. And that
would have been a different movie.
That could have worked.
I'm not necessarily like. That could have been an interesting movie.
Yeah, but I'm saying but
this works. This movie works.
Yeah, no, but so I'm saying is to make a reboot or a sequel or whatever remake of the original to update it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the same sort of documentary format, but now it's like digital and it's online.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that, I guess.
I feel like it's a
But I
hard
like-
property to
Yeah.
develop a sequel for.
I like that they basically said, no, we're not going to try to redo or outdo the original. We're just going to take the original as the inspiration and be like, this is a narrative horror thriller slasher about a killer who uses the original movie as an
inspiration.
inspiration for his murders. Yeah. And then on top of that, they do have the element of Barbie Ferreira's character, Margot, being the online curator, whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so they do still have the element of like, oh, this is the updated version of where now all this snuff film stuff is online.
Yeah.
And there's a viral element to it. And there's a, more modern sort of tech element to it.
Yeah.
That obviously in the 70s they could never have imagined. So I like that part of it. I do think they should have been maybe a bit more subtle with it, because it very much hits you on the head with, there's like moments of like a scream, like reveal of like, I did this for the likes, you know, I want to go viral.
Like I said, mate,
And-
it's straight 2005.
Yeah, it definitely feels like one of the Scream 5, you
Yeah.
know, whereas they're like, oh, we're
That's
going to
what-
remake the movie.
My feeling was it was like halfway between like Scream and like some random like The Collector.
Yeah,
serial killer
definitely.
movie.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think maybe they should
There's a
have...
meta element
would
that
have
you get
been-
from the Scream franchise.
Yeah, and it would have been maybe scarier if it was more just ambiguous and he was just a crazy guy who was uploading his stuff online or whatever. But they definitely double down more on the, he wants to be famous and...
Imagine if it was even crazier and it was like, you know how in Karate Kid, karate's the most important thing? Imagine if Faces of Death was like the most important horror franchise.
Now that's a horror movie idea. Let's write that down.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, like it's like a horror movie where horror movies are...
Like the most important thing.
Yeah, which that would be kind of scary if everyone was just...
All the references at school are just horror films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just taught in schools and yeah.
That's weird.
That's weird. Let's work on that. Copyright Tuesday Review 2026. But yeah, so I think most of the practical gore effects are good. There's a little bit of dodgy CGI here and there at the end, but overall, like, I think it was like a well-made, well-acted movie.
It was fun.
It's a fun, 100 minutes or whatever it is. And like it's
Also,
not as
she's not that good at her job.
No. And also her job is awesome.
well. I mean, yes and no. I think in some ways it's just clicking through stuff and not having to do anything else is awesome. But also, like,
But also,
the
she's
toll.
really, that's obviously part of the narrative, but she's obviously just really not good at her job, though.
It also comes to her character of like there's reasons behind why she acts the way she acts.
Yeah, but like
which-
there's moments in there I'm watching and I'm like, it's instructive videos, and she's just like, decline.
But I think that's a commentary as
Yeah.
well, which I liked about the movie of like, on these platforms, you can have violence. Yeah, no one cares. But
Yeah,
if
no
you talk,
sex.
if you talk about sex in an educational way, it's flagged as sexually suggestive and it's taken off, which I
Yeah.
think is definitely a commentary on, not just on like modern platforms, but on like how we talk
America.
about America and how we talk about like the movie rating system and how you can have a whole bunch of people die, doesn't matter. But if you say the F word or show a nipple, like the sky's falling, R-rated, NC-17, oh my god. I think the movie is definitely commenting on it, and I like that element of
Unless
it.
you're Spielberg, then you get what you want every time.
Well, you can push the bigger budget movie and the bigger studio you have and the bigger name director, the more you can push it. You know,
Yeah.
so
I love
it's not
Spielberg
fair.
probably just submits his movie and then there's just like, I don't know, and he's like, try again.
yeah. He's like, oh, you know, there's this 1 second shot of blood. He's like, I didn't see it.
Yeah. He's like, yes, Mrs.
Yes,
Spielberg.
Mr. Spielberg. Yeah, I think also, oh shit, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the trailer is really good for this movie.
I didn't see it.
It makes it look really extreme. And because of the legend of the original, you're like, oh, they're going to try to outdo it. And when you watch the movie, it's not that bad, especially considering how many horror movies we've had in the last 40, 50 years. I think maybe, I don't know, like, sometimes gore can be too much. Other times you're like, nah, I needed more. I think this could have probably been more extreme.
Yeah,
but also, it wasn't really trying to go for that.
No, yeah.
It wasn't a torture porn movie.
No.
But yeah, it's
not an Eli Roth movie.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, it's more in the vein of your 2009 serial killer movie.
Yeah, especially because it could have gone down the route of like, oh, this is just edgelordy kind of.
But like I said, it reminded me of The Collector. I've never seen the whole franchise, but it reminded me of that Collector angle where it's like the guy who wears the mask to kidnap people.
Yeah. And that, the serial killer has a thing.
Yeah, has a thing. That's right. But like ultimately, I was entertained by it. It's not a perfect movie, but it's like one movie you can throw on and be like, yeah,
it's solid.
It's
like
fun,
if you're a horror movie fan, it's worth watching.
If somehow there was to be a sequel,
I would watch one.
That's what I was gonna say. And I'd go to the movies to see it. It'd be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's worth checking out.
Yeah, that's about all the time we got for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us, and we're on some of the social media garbage at Tuesday Review AU on the socials. That's Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Newsmast, and Blue Sky. We're also on YouTube at Tuesday Review AU once again.
Ring that bell, subscribe.
Let us know how we're doing. We're also on Letterboxd. I'm Nathan B _90.
I'm channeldrifter.
And I'm Callum Tuesday.
We'll be back next week with more. Thanks for listening, everyone. Adios, cousins.